Hi guys, and welcome to Nick's Home Renovation. Unfortunately, this is a video about Cowboy builders and how you can deal with any problems you may have, and also how you can help avoid Cowboy builders. I, unfortunately, with this fencing behind me, have had a bad experience. Very unusual for me, as I use the same guys for everything. But in this instance, I hired a fencing company. They put in the fencing behind me, and you may think it looks all right from first glance, but I'll take you on a walk around now and show you one absolutely shocking job they've done, and I can also talk through what I'm going to do to rectify it and get my money back. So before I show you, they were doing both sides of the fence, and they quoted £2,000, around 3 to 4 days work, which is about right. It's a lot of fencing here. Fencing can be really difficult, and I'll show you how bad their work is right now. So on first glance you might think, okay, not too bad. So the fence at the back's nothing to do with it, it's just this darker wood here on both sides of the bungalow. As you go down the side here, you can see where it starts to go horribly wrong. So can you see how wonky that line is? So this fence is obviously supposed to be perfectly straight, and it is completely out by about up to a foot in some places. Of this, these are solid concrete posts, and I can literally physically push them. These should be rock solid, buried in the ground, a good sort of 30, 40, 50 centimetres of concrete mix, should be completely solid. There shouldn't be any sort of gap like that at the top. You should have at most an inch at the top here, so you have got a slanted garden here, so you should have a little bit at the top where it differs in level, but nothing like that. There's a good 20 centimetres. They're absolutely shocking. They literally didn't even finish the job. So there's fence panels missing at the end of the garden there. You can see where the neighbours' garden is and where there's no fence, and they were supposed to remove all the old concrete posts, which you can just see have been dumped in my garden. So the quote was to remove all the rubbish, all the old fencing, and actually worst of all is that the neighbour's house, so where the fencing was before, there was the original concrete posts. They did not remove those original concrete posts, or certainly not all of them. So what they basically did, they tried to remove the old concrete posts, thought it was really difficult, gave up, and put the new fence in front of those old concrete posts. So I have essentially lost about 6 to 9 inches of my garden, and my neighbour has gained about 6 to 9 inches in his garden. What's even worse is my neighbour has Alzheimer's. He's paid for half of this fence that we're sharing here, and he's been affected by this as well really badly. So absolute horrible Cowboy builders, as you can imagine. So what I'm going to do now, I'll show you this side as well quickly before I get into what I'm going to do to fix it. Again, look at this giant bit at the top there. Good 20-25 centimetres. That should be hardly anything, an inch at most, and just a shocking job throughout. And again, can wobble the whole fence. Terrible, terrible workmanship. So usually this isn't a problem for me. I've got a group of really good guys. This has nothing to do with the builder that built this bungalow, by the way. This is someone I found off a checker trade. So my brother is a landscape gardener, and he usually does fencing and things like that for me, but he started his own business called Great Escape Garden Rooms, building these amazing garden rooms, and he's busy through the pandemic with everyone wanting home offices. So unfortunately I've had to go to checker trade. I don't like using checker trade personally. I think there's loads of people with loads of fake reviews from friends and family. You're not really guaranteed anything if it goes wrong. Checker trade certainly aren't liable, as all they do is give you a phone number or an email address. So I really don't like it, but I had no choice. Found someone on checker trade, agreed a price, and they started work. I've been on paternity leave for a couple of weeks. I had a baby on the 10th of September called Lydia. Really excited, but I couldn't be here when the work was carrying on, so that was my mistake. because they sent me photos. It looked good from the photos, but they obviously didn't send me detailed enough photos, so I ended up paying them 1,500 of the 2,000, agreeing to pay them the rest when I see it in person. That was 100% my error, and you should never pay up front like that, but unfortunately with the circumstances I didn't want to leave the baby and my wife, and I just got, well, affected by it negatively in this case. So number one, when you're looking for your builder or trade or anything, is when you think you find someone, get a contract. I would wholly recommend only ever using someone that's been recommended to you. I wouldn't use Check a Trade or any of those other websites, because it's so much better to get a recommendation through a family friend, and then you might even be able to see the work. You'll know what your friend paid for the work, and it's just much more reassuring. As you can tell by this, I have gone for a stranger and they've completely screwed me over in this case. But if you do have to do this and do have to use these websites, first of all, get a contract drawn up, even if the work's only a few £100s. If they don't want to draw up a contract, that already throws red flags, because why don't they want to give you their address? Because without their address, you can't sort of take them to small claims court if something goes wrong, and it already throws up a red flag that they're just not a professional outfit too. Number two, like I said, go through for friends and family recommendations. 3, if you do go through Check a Trade and those sorts of websites, make sure they've got 50+ reviews. My mistake on this one is this company only have about 20 reviews, which I thought was enough, but clearly speaking to them before and speaking to them afterwards, they're not actually very good at their job. I think most of those reviews, now I look at them, must be through friends and family, because their workmanship on this is terrible, and I've got to now pay another company £2,000 to come back, remove the old fencing that they've done, because I'm not keeping this, no way, and redo it. So this fencing that was supposed to cost me £2,000 is now costing me £4,000 because of just absolute cowboys. If you have been affected by this, the first thing to do is contact them. So contact them, show them the evidence, and in this case I've sent them photos of the wonky fence. I've sent them a video of the fence literally wobbling when I push it. I've sent them photos of the rubbish. I've sent them photos over the fence into my neighbours, showing the concrete post that they didn't remove and just put the new fence in front of it. That's your evidence. So that then means that they should offer to either refund you or redo the work. In my case, they refused to do either. They refused to even come back and have a look at the job. So absolute disgraceful people, and they've affected not only my neighbour over there with Alzheimer's, also my neighbour over there. So just not very nice people. If they refuse to do the work or refuse to refund you, the next step is a bit more painful, but you can go through your ombudsman or local council and take them to the small claims court. So the small claims court is for things up to £10,000, and that is where you'll need to get. So I've got all the evidence here. The only thing I need to get is their address to take them to court, which I'm going to get through Check a Trade, hopefully. So that would be the next steps, but as I say, always get a contract. If you don't want to do a contract, or they don't want to do a contract, that's certainly a red flag. Always hire through friends and family first, and just do your research, because I've been doing this since 2009. Got a great team. My builders are amazing, my carpenter, everyone else is amazing, but in this instance I had to find someone and they completely let me down, and I'm £1,500 out of pocket. Would have nearly been 2,000 if I paid them the full amount in full. So hopefully you learn from my mistake, and there's a lot of cowboys out there, and just be careful. Any questions, feel free to email me. I'm always happy to help in regards to this, because I hate seeing people affected, and get lots of emails about people that have been let down by builders, builders running away from the work, not finishing work, or in this instance poor quality. Thanks for watching, and next video should be a bit more positive. Lots going on at the bungalow. Speak to you soon. Welcome back, guys. I've now had the fence redone, so the cowboys have gone and I hired a new company and it's all done. I'll show you how a fence should look and how this now looks, and I'll also talk through Check a Trade, because they've actually been really good at helping me get my money back, so I'll talk through that at the end. But I'll show you the fence looking nice in the sun. So both sides are now finished. So, unlike what the Cowboys did, you can see there's no big gaps at the top, only the gaps going up this way like it should do, with the levels going up, because this is a sloped garden. Remember before, the gap was maybe up here with the fence posts. Looking down the line, you can see, unlike the other go, it is perfectly straight. We've had a string line across it and it runs straight the whole way down. It no longer wobbles, rock solid like it should be, and it's actually on the fence line it should be. I think you might have remembered me saying that they couldn't remove the old fence post, so they just literally shoved the fence in front of it, and I lost a foot of my garden. And they actually finished it, unlike the other Cowboys as well. Back here, and they removed all of their rubbish associated with it as well. So much happier. So to update you on my progress, so I've spoken to Checkatrade. I've left the Cowboys a negative review. Checkatrade, of them spoken to their team, and they're going to help me sort of mediate in between me and the small claims court. Actually, before it even gets to the small claims court, Checkatrade have a company who work for them who help deal with things like this, so they'll try and get me my £1,500 back. If the Cowboys refuse to give me my £1,500 back, Checkatrade will ban them from Checkatrade, and they'll also never let them under that same address apply for anything else or under any other businesses. So really impressed with that. And then if I don't get my money back through Checkatrade, then I'll be going to the small claims court. It's also cheaper to go through this company with Checkatrade rather than the small claims court, so it's really good service that they provide. I said earlier, Checkatrade aren't really liable for anything, as all they do is give you an email address and a telephone number, which is true, but actually I'm quite impressed with them going that extra mile to help, and it looks like I'm well on my way to getting my money back one way or the other, so that's all good. Hopefully I don't have to go through the small claims court. So yeah, hopefully you guys can learn something from my mistake of paying far too early. I'm really pleased with what has eventually happened. If anyone has any questions about this, I get lots of emails, sadly, about builders either not doing work to a high standard, or taking people's money, or not turning up. But just make sure you follow the steps I've gone through in this video, and I can help. If I can help, I will. Good luck with everything you're up to, and good luck with your renovation. Thanks for watching.